Oliver the gnome lived in a cozy little village nestled in a lush forest. Little Red Riding Hood, a dear friend of Oliver, often visited the village to sell her grandmother's homemade goodies. One day, Oliver decided to accompany Little Red Riding Hood on her journey to visit her grandmother, who lived deep within the forest. As they skipped through the woods, they encountered a beautiful field of wildflowers. Little Red Riding Hood paused to pick some for her grandmother. Suddenly, a loud growl echoed through the forest, startling Oliver and Little Red Riding Hood. Out of the bushes emerged a ferocious wolf, its eyes gleaming with hunger. Oliver and Little Red Riding Hood knew they had to act fast. Thinking quickly, Oliver and Little Red Riding Hood dashed into the trees, their hearts pounding with fear. The wolf gave chase, its powerful legs propelling it closer and closer to Oliver and Little Red Riding Hood. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Oliver and Little Red Riding Hood spotted a familiar cottage ahead. They knew they could seek refuge there. With a burst of speed, Oliver and Little Red Riding Hood reached the cottage and slammed the door shut behind them. Inside, they found Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother waiting, her eyes wide with concern. She welcomed them with open arms. Together, Oliver, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother devised a plan to outsmart the wolf and protect the village. Armed with courage and determination, Oliver, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother set out to confront the wolf. They laid traps and set decoys, leading the wolf on a wild chase through the woods. At last, they led the wolf to a cliff's edge overlooking a raging river below. It was time to make their move. With swift coordination, Oliver, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother dodged the wolf's attacks, causing it to stumble closer to the edge. Exhausted but triumphant, Oliver, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother watched as the wolf tumbled over the cliff and into the churning waters below. They returned to the village as heroes, their bravery celebrated by the grateful villagers. From that day on, their tale became a legend, inspiring courage in all who heard it. And though the forest remained a place of danger, Oliver, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother's bravery ensured that the village remained safe. And so, Oliver, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother proved that even the smallest among us can be the bravest of all.